So let's talk. Ooh, almost lost some stitches. Ooh, saved them. Hello, my name is Michelle, and this is Michelle's Fiber Studio podcast. Today is Monday, June 8th, and this is episode number 96. Wow, welcome, welcome. It is a gorgeous, sunny, warm day. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's mid-70s, I think 77 actually when I checked, and it feels so good. We are headed for a nice, beautiful stretch of weather, so I'm very much looking forward to that. I am excited to share today. We had our Fiber Frolic here in the state of Maine, and I have lots of goodies to share from that. I started a new project. I have solid updates on the other projects that I have been working on. So lots and lots of good things. I think that's it from the top of the episode. I don't have anything, I'm not wearing any knitting, and I don't think I have anything else that I need to share. So I think with that, let's head on over and take a look at what I've got going on in my project bag. I think the first project I'm going to talk about is my Brooklyn Raglan Lite. I've got it here in my Woolen Woman Fibers project bag. And I have made some really good progress on this. This is a pattern by Tori. It's the second Tori pattern that I make. And let me show you. If I hold it up the way it is, I did not put a marker in last week. I gotta remember to take one out, but I'm pretty sure I had only just, actually I think this is the front. I had only just barely begun, as I recall. So I am almost done with the yoke. It's a 4-row repeat, and I think I have 3 more. So I think I have 12 more rows to go. And I believe I should be ready to split off for the sleeves. I'm really, really happy with, I'm loving, this is the sleeve here. That's a really fun textured pattern that is in there, and I'm really enjoying this. I'm liking how this is knitting up, and I think this is going to be a great color on me. It's going to be a really great addition to my wardrobe. So let's talk. Ooh, almost lost some stitches. Ooh, saved them. Okay, let's talk about my yarn. Where's my yarn tag here? I thought I had one. Did I not have one? All right, well, I will show you. I don't know what happened to the original tag. Okay, whatever. It is Ellyn Lace Merino, and it is in the aqua blue colorway. This is a yarn that I got from a friend of mine quite some time ago. I am getting down there. This is what I have left in my first skein, so yeah. I'll have enough, I'm sure, but I'll be curious to see just exactly how much yarn this uses up. I started it on May 30th, so I'm barely a little over a weekend, and almost got the yoke done. These rows, I will say, feel like they are taking forever. I know each of the sleeves is 63, so it'd be like 126 stitches, and I think I am gonna have like 80 something stitches on the front and the back, so that's an 160, so it's like almost 300 stitches per round, not quite, 275 stitches maybe per round. And oh my gosh, it feels like the stitches are just taking forever, or the rounds rather, are taking forever to go around. But it's been a good little project, and I am excited to see how much I get done for next week, because it's pretty much the only knitting project that I have going. So it is definitely my main squeeze, as it were, right about now. All right, the second project I am going to talk about, I also have in a Woolen Woman Fibers bag. I've got all these bags, I need to use them, right? And these are my Tutti Frutti Socks, and I do have a marker in this one, and you're gonna be really surprised at look how much work I got done. So I was here, I had done that much before. I got the whole rest of the leg, turned the heel, and I am almost halfway done the foot at this point. So these socks should definitely be done this week, which is super exciting because I'm very excited for the next pair of socks that I want to cast on, and I'll be glad to have these done. They are, the yarn right here is Schackenmeyer, I do believe, Regia in their Tutti Frutti line, and the color is it on there? Tutti Frutti, what is the actual color? Because the Tutti Frutti is their line. Do I have the, oh, and Papaya. Papaya is the name of the color. I don't see it on here, but I had it figured out at some point, so, but it is their Tutti Frutti line. So anyhow, yeah, that was the completed sock. I made them a little bit shorter than I typically do. Not a ton shorter, but it is, believe it or not, that is shorter than my typical socks. So super fun. Will be great to have these done, hopefully next week. And that brings me to my last project. I did start something new. And I know I've said that I want to kind of focus on one main project at a time. And while that is true, I do still have a couple of blankets to make. So we talked about that last week. So I got out the yarn, and of course I had finished the baby blanket that I was working on. And I have now started, oh, did I crochet this? Oh no, okay. I'm okay, really I'm okay. There we go. My Leaps and Blocks blanket, which is for my best friend's little girl. This is the second one that I'm making her. I'm making an exact duplicate of her original blanket, so that way she has another one to throw in the wash, because she has digestive challenges, shall we say. I am using Yarn Bee. I've got two of them are pearl spun, so this is the pearl colorway and the hazy hazel colorway, and then the last yarn that I'm using for this is the easygoing yarn line in Cottage Rose. They're all an acrylic base, all from Hobby Lobby, and it is the exact yarn that I used last time. And I don't think I realized I was grabbing from different yarn bases when I pulled that yarn or bought that yarn the first time, but I wanted to duplicate it exactly. So I haven't put a ton of work in, but it's actually a super fun pattern, very, very easy, very memorizable. There we go. Wowies. You can tell I'm getting to the end of the school year, huh? So it shouldn't take me too long. I believe it took me like 2 weeks the first time that I did this. So I wanted to have it going, not so much so that it would be like my main project, but that it would be real easy to pick up and just put a few rows on it here and there. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks I can knock this one out, and that will just leave that last blanket that needs to be done. So those are the projects that I have for this week. I haven't touched the cross stitch in over a month. And that's okay. School's getting ready to get out, so I'm hoping that I can have plenty of time to work on that this summer and get most of it done. That would be amazing. And my spinning too, I haven't really touched either. But again, that is on my mental to-do list for this summer. As I said, we had the annual Fiber Frolic, Maine Fiber Frolic, this past weekend at the Windsor Fairgrounds. That's about 45 minutes or so north of me, and Mom and I like to visit that every year. So we went on Saturday, and I have some goodies that I want to share that I got. But first, I'll talk a little bit about the day. It was beautiful. It's not a huge festival. There's probably, I don't know, maybe 75 vendors? I haven't actually counted, but I mean, There's a larger expo barn, and there's probably 20 to 25 in that barn. There's a smaller expo barn that has 15 or 16, maybe 8 on each side. And then they have 2 different spaces, well, 1 space really, because the second space is mostly rabbits and Angora and such. But then they have like where during the fair time where some livestock would be. So like in one of those barns. And there's maybe another 25. So what does that add up to? Yeah, 65, 70, yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, and then there's a bunch like out on the lawn too. So yeah, definitely probably right around 75 different vendors. At any rate, so it's not a huge festival as far as festivals go, but it's fun, and we had a beautiful day. It can always be a little bit of a crapshoot here in the state of Maine for the first weekend in June. We have had years where we are absolutely roasting because the sun is hot and high, and it is in the high 80s. Matter of fact, the day before, Friday, was like a high of 88 and straight sun all day long. And then we have had other years where it is cold and raw and rainy. There was one year where it was like high 40s and drizzly, and we flew through there so fast because we were just so cold. So there's the gamut, the whole range. You never really quite know what you're gonna get. But it was actually pretty decent this year. It was mostly cloudy. The sun poked in and out a little bit in the morning. We went first thing in the morning. But it was in the high 60s, so it was comfortable. I had on my Skyline tee by my other Tori pattern, and I got so many compliments on it. I had actually a woman who wanted to take a picture of it and write down exactly what it was, and that was super fun. It was definitely the right item to wear. One of the vendors was, designer vendors was commenting on it. Like, it was a really great combination of the yarn and pattern. So that was kind of cool. So we had a great time. We got there at 9. We meandered around, visited all of the booths, looped back at the end, got what we wanted. And I think around noontime or so, we were finished up there. It was about that point that it was starting to sprinkle a little bit. The clouds were kind of rolling in a little bit. And we drove about 20-25 minutes north to Waterville, and we had some lunch, and then we went to Yard Goods, which is a yarn store in Waterville, and we spent like 2 hours there. It was wild. I did not anticipate being there that long, so, and got some more yarn, and then drove back to my house. So I thought it'd be fun to show you the goodies that I acquired this year. Let's start with the yarn that I got at Fiber Frolic. So I think the first skein of yarn that I picked up is this one here. Love, love, love these colors. The yarn dyer is Ellyn Cooper's yarn. She is from Connecticut, actually. And I've gotten some of her yarn before. I did a shawl a couple of years ago that I actually saw the design at Fiber Frolic and picked up the exact yarn so I could do the exact replica of the shawl, and I think my mom did too, in the same exact colors. So this is a skein of 100% merino in birch curl is what she has named this yarn. But I loved the colors, and I thought it would make a great shawl. And my vision was that I would see if I could find some minis in some of these colors that I could then interject or insert into the shawl and combine with it. So at the one Lupine tent, I picked up these 4 minis right here. So if I hold these with that, can you see? Hopefully, mostly. I am not sure if this one is going to be too similar, but I liked it, and I figured, you know what? If I don't use it for this, I'll use it for something else. Kind of the same thing with this blue here. I'm a little worried that the blues are too similar. I think this green and the yellow are a really nice contrast, but I don't know. And what I think would actually be really nice is if I could find like a dark brown like this one. And I might have one of those floating around in something, maybe one of the yarns that I've gotten in my Wool & Woman Fibers batches of yarn I could maybe pull. But at any rate, so that was the first thing, and that was the very first building that we went into. I saw that yarn and I did not want to risk that. There was only 2 skeins and I didn't want to risk that it would still be there when we came back. So I pretty quickly cracked open my wallet and I purchased that. The next thing that I got is from, I don't remember oh, I actually have a business card here in my little bag. Because she told me to email her. Four Hearts? Was it the Four Hearts Mainly Fiber? I think it is. It must be hers. Because last year I got fiber from her and I was planning to spin a fractal and she told me to email her because she is putting together a little fractal information sheet. And she said if I emailed her that she would send it to me. But what I got from her, she always has Chowgu and I wanted to add to my needle tips and then a couple of cords. So nothing super exciting, but definitely something that is needed. The next thing that I got is from Sunset Fiberworks. It's a 50% baby camel and 50% silk. And it is absolutely dreamy and soft. There are 415 yards, and it is just going to be the most luscious something around my neck. Kind of a la Sophie's scarf. I don't think I want to do a Sophie scarf, but something similar that I can just like wrap nice and close around my neck because it is like so soft and so light. And I just want to sit here and pet it because it is absolutely delightful. So that is that one. I also got from, Long Way Farms, I think is her name, some of the goat's milk soap that I tend to pick up. So we did that. But then the last thing was from Heal My Hands is the vendor. And it is a moisturizing bar. And she has some samples. So it comes in this little tin. And you just rub it in your hands and get some off and then spread it around. And we had done it while we were there. It didn't leave our hands sticky. And it is supposed to last through like 3 hand washes and like 6 hours. So we both got one of those. She actually also does mail orders and you can, or catch her at a fair and you can buy just the lotion bar, so the refills. So Mom and I both got one of those. Thought that would be kind of cool. So that takes care of what I got at Fiber Frolic. So the next place, of course, we went was Yard Goods, and we spent a whole bunch of time going through there and a lot of fun. But I picked up a couple of things there as well. So I think the first one is that I'll show you is this yarn here, which I thought might make actually a really fun t-shirt. And I've never heard of this dyer, but it is Bigfoot yarn, and it is her Wendigo sock. It's a 75-25 merino nylon in the Dolores colorway. So I have the 2 of those. And then the other yarn I got from Yard Goods is this Lane Denord sock yarn, and it is a gradient sock. So see the sock that is on the tag there? Supposedly, that's what that's gonna do. So I was just very much intrigued by that. What I don't know is if, maybe I can do some Googling to find out before I get started, if at some point you reach a halfway point and so that you can have socks that actually match, or if you basically just end up with fraternal socks. I mean, it shows a full sock there going from light to dark. So in theory, you should be able to make 2 socks from light to dark, right? That's what I would think. So anyway, it intrigued me. I thought it'd be kind of fun. And I picked that up. And then the last thing I picked up are from Twice Sheared Sheep. I've been looking for these for 6 months. They are the little tags that I can use around my cords to manage them and easily help me identify the sizes. I like that it's just small, medium, large, extra large. I don't really care what the length is. I just need to know what the size is as I am figuring it. And I had gotten something cheap from Amazon. It's sort of working, but they're not labeled and it's hard for me to differentiate which is which. And I saw those, I'm like, all right, yep, I'm getting them. So yeah, that is what I got. I got a notification that my Willow Woman Fibers box should be delivered, I think tomorrow. So next week I will have something else to show you that is fun and woolly. Finally, in this week's Dated Day, not a lot to talk about. Last week was a rough week. I will just say that. The work week was hard. There was a lot of drama. I'll leave it at that. And the nights were quiet, so that was good. Friday night, I chaperoned the 8th grade dance. It is the last dance of the year, and it is just for our 8th graders. It's a way for us to say goodbye. And so I chaperoned that. I scooted out about 20 minutes or so before the end of it. They were doing pretty good. I figured at that point there was plenty of help. I figured I could run on home. And that was partly because I knew I was gonna have a very full weekend. It was busy. I don't know if busy is even the right word. It was just full. Full is the better way to put it. And I just knew I wasn't gonna have a lot of downtime. So I wanted to come home a little bit earlier and not stay for the full dance, because I knew our dances run from 6:30 to 8, and I knew that by the time we cleared all the kids out and did some of the cleanup, like it would be almost 8:30 by the time I got home, and I was not feeling it. So about 20 of 8, I'm like, you know what? Peace out. I think I'm gonna scoot on home. I think we're all good from here. Saturday, as I have already talked about, I spent the day with my mom at Fiber Frolic and up in Waterville. So we left my house at 8 o'clock in the morning so we could be at the fairgrounds right when they opened at 9. And I got home right around 4 o'clock, and we immediately jumped in the car and drove up to Topsom to visit my mother-in-law. So I was gone literally all day. Sunday morning, of course, we have church, and then from church, I headed down a little south to Scarborough, and I had a baby shower to attend. So I was able to give out those baby gifts. She loved them, and it was really funny because I had posted, well, funny, not funny, I don't know. I had posted a clip of the baby blanket on Instagram, and then my nephew's wife liked it. I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot that we were friends on Facebook. And she made a comment when she opened it, but either she's a really good liar or she didn't actually connect the dots. But she's like, oh, that's so pretty, but she didn't seem to realize it was for her at that point. So I guess the surprise wasn't totally lost, but at any rate, she was very pleased, as I knew she would be, and very sweet. She's got another month to go. She is like all baby. She's still tiny too, but all baby. So I know she'll be ready when that child makes the entrance into the world. There were so many cute little outfits. Gonna be the best dressed baby ever. Oh my goodness, so cute. So that was yesterday, and then I got home around 4:30, 4:15, and we just hung out for the rest of the night because I had been gone all weekend, and I knew that this is going to be a very, very busy week, and indeed, I hit the ground running at 7 a.m. as soon as I walked in the door this morning. So it has been a day. I am glad to be home. Tomorrow's our step-up day, which is super exciting, but a lot of work. And yeah, it's just going to be a busy end of the school year. So that pretty much wraps up what I have for this week. I thank you so very much for joining me. If you enjoyed the podcast, please do hit the like button and subscribe. I will have links down below in the show notes for all of the things that I have talked about and all of my projects. You can find me on a Ravelry and Instagram as Knittin Michelle, KNITTINMICHELLE. You could also send me email at michellesfiberstudio@gmail.com. And with that, I hope you have a fantastic week and happy knitting.